Hello and welcome to another edition of Play Me or Fade Me. And thank you for joining us as always. Well, it's that time of week. It's time for the split ticket with Juice Band Pace and Coda Capper Kyle. And I'll tell you what, Coda Capper Kyle is on cloud nine as of the moment. Don't want to jinx it, but the Oklahoma Sooners are ready to win a title in college baseball. Kyle, how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I mean, sitting with a 9-1 lead right now, I would think that we're gonna be okay. But in college baseball, you just never know. So I'm not counting my chickens no matter what. But yeah, sitting pretty good right now.
Okay, and not to jinx it as well, but I think he will have a positive winning day for Monday. We'll have to await the final score of that Fever game. But right now, things are looking good in the fourth quarter. So hopefully, we have some momentum going into this show because Lord knows my 300 seconds of action has no momentum right now. Going to the board from last week, if I can figure out how to operate the screen here again. Top three overnight podcast host, Ken in Jersey, his third consecutive winning week. He went 3-2, up 1.2506 units. That guy in Florida, Chad, third straight time on the podcast with a winning week. He goes 3-2, up 0.9361 units. And I somehow eke out a 6-4 week, up 0.1529 units, since I had some Larry-like plays there with a whole lot of juice. But I'll take a winning week anytime I can get it. So that's how we finished last week as a podcast. And this week, we're hoping for an even better week. I'm glad to have the U.S. Open behind me because, John Rahm, I was patting myself on the back after round one. He was like 2 under. And next time I looked, he was like 8 over. That's how quickly it turned on a dime at the U.S. Open this week or last week. But Juice Band Pace, I'm actually going to let you lead off the card for this week. What do you got?
Yeah, let's get into it. I actually have golf on the card here this week. I forgot my paper bag. Was going to have that over the head, after a hot showing from Kyle and I at the U.S. Open. But again, one of those tournaments, and we talked about Wyndham Clark, Kyle. I bet on him 2 tournaments ago. One of the hottest dudes coming into the tournament, and we decided to stay away from him. But, just got to learn it and move on. So we're on to bigger and better here this week. But I got some WNBA plays here for this week, and we'll start off in the Commissioner's Cup here on Tuesday. The lone game here, of course, the Aces and the New York Liberty. Sabrina Ionescu, right, the former Duck, over 12.5 points. I'm going at a -117 here, gentlemen. Just her 6th game of the season. She's been battling some injuries, ankle, back. Some of her fans on social media have been getting at her, saying she's washed at the age of 28. So I'm kind of buying low on Sabrina here in a big game, right? The prize here is $500,000, right, for the winning team, and I think they split that up. So kind of buying low on her. She just kind of get back into the groove here. 12.5 points doesn't seem too bad, right? Got to get 13 points, but she hasn't been shooting very well. But again, buying low on her in a big spot. So I'm going to take Sabrina Ionescu over 12.5 points at a -117.
So you're telling me those WNBA fans are tough? People are washed at 28?
They some of the toughest fans out there, actually, in the WNBA. They'll just get after these ladies here. So yeah, I guess she's washed at 28. Again, she had a lot of hype. One of the greatest college players of all time. But she's had some good years, but a couple down years. But hey, that's what being a pro is about.
Okay, well, that's probably Coda Capper Kyle out there typing that stuff out there. So, Kyle, why don't you go with your first pick?
Listen, let's not throw that at me, action. I try to be very sophisticated when I'm on social media. Don't worry about the Twitter fights that I've gotten in recently. That's an old me, action. This is a new prime me now. So we're on to bigger and better things. And before we go into my play, just for the record, Scotty Scheffler top 10 at the Open is going to be my son's toy broom play of the day, because that hit for me once again. That's hit for me in 2 out of the last 3 majors. So that is going to be for sure a thing. Scotty in the majors is just a different animal. So just a quick side note there. But Pace, you and I got a little bit of symmetry on this one. You took Sabrina Ionescu. I'm actually going to take the Liberty full game plus the 1.5 there. I'm getting that at a -105. So the Liberty fellas, they've come off 2 really, really rough games. They lost by 3 to the Mystics, and they lost on a buzzer beater by Nneka Ogwumike of the Sparks last game out. And that was actually a big game because that was the 30th anniversary of the WNBA. So congratulations to them for that. But they come off 2 really tough losses here, but this is still a really, really solid team. I mean, nobody's going to deny Breanna Stewart's her. She's one of the best players in the WNBA, and I expect her to be really, really solid in this game. It does sound like Ionescu, like Pace said, is going to play in this game after missing a few games, so I expect her to have a big bounce back game. For the Aces, fellas, there's a couple people up, but the biggest one for me is Chennedy Carter. Chennedy Carter is their sixth person off the bench, but she provides a huge defensive spark for this Aces team. And if you notice in their 4 losses that they've had, she hasn't played in many of those games. So I think her being out is really, really going to affect it. And I expect a big bounce back here for the New York Liberty. And I think this is a talented team, and I think they get the job done here on the road. So give me the Liberty plus 1.5 at a -105.
Okay, thank you very much, Kyle. I'm glad you guys have a little synergy there. Yep. I'll avoid the group text. I won't take the Liberty. I'll stay clear for now. You bet. I'll take that one for the team. Juice Band Pace, you're up for pick number 2. What do you got?
Notice Kyle actually said for now. For now, he's going to stay away. All right, let's stay on the hardwood. This is, again, there's only one game in the WNBA here tonight, so we're going to move to Wednesday. So keep that in mind. I'm going to take the Minnesota Lynx. This opened up at -4.5. It's now at -5.5. So not getting the best number, but I still like this -5.5 for this Lynx team who lost to this Washington Mystics team at home on Sunday. So this is kind of a bounce back spot here for the Lynx in this one. The Lynx didn't have their best stuff. Olivia Miles didn't have her best stuff, but I think that this team is, a veteran squad with Olivia Miles, of course, and I think they can bounce back here on the road. So I'm going to take the Lynx -5.5 to get back to their winning ways on the road here for Wednesday at a -110.
Way to represent the great state of Minnesota, Juice Band Pace. Thank you very much for that.
Yep.
Got the Twins hat on. Hopefully they get a win against the Dodgers this week. I love that. Coda Capra, Kyle, your second pick. What do you got?
All right, yeah, Pace. I love that play. Olivia Miles is incredible. She might win MVP this year, Pace.
Man, how crazy would
that be?
Yeah, be crazy.
People are talking, Pace, that the Dallas Wings taking AZ Fudd might have been a misstep on their part. If they wanted the best player in the league, they should have taken Olivia Miles. So there's chatter on there. Just wanted to throw that out there, but that's another podcast. I think we can talk about that. Gentlemen, I'm going to go to the Diamond here. I'm going to start tomorrow at 5:40. I'm going to take the Mariners and the Pirates over 8.5 runs. I'm getting that at a nice little plus 114 on Better Edge. So really, really nice number. I'm getting there. The pitching matchup just really, really intrigues me to get having a lot of runs scored. So George Kirby, is on the mound for the Mariners. He struggled this year. Normally, I like betting on George Kirby, but he struggled this year. 5-7 record, 4.10 ERA. The Pirates' lifetime are hitting 234 off him, but they have 6 runs and 42 at-bats. That's 1 run per every 7 at-bats, which is not really good stuff for Kirby there. On the flip side, it's much worse, though, on the other side. Mitch Keller's getting the start for the Pirates. He's not – okay, he's 5-4, 5.25 ERA, 1.34 whip. He is pretty bad. I was going to say not too bad, but he is pretty bad. Now, listen to this, fellas. Lifetime against the Mariners, they're batting .333 off him with 10 runs scored and a mere 36 at-bats. That is 1 run per every 4 at-bats. There's going to be so many runs scored in this game, I have a feeling. So give me the over 8.5 with the Mariners and the Pirates.
Okay, thank you, Kyle. I felt like you wanted to go the Larry direction. What word did you want to use to describe Mitch Keller there for just a moment?
I wanted to say trash. I won't lie.
Okay. I knew it was on the tip of your tongue, and you were like, I'm going to be nice. I'm not going to say it. But Kyle, you cashed a Nerfy on Monday night. You're coming back with an over? Are you feeling okay?
I'm feeling fine.
Okay, I didn't know if the kid woke up in the middle of the night or something. You didn't get any sleep, so
that's another story for another time, though.
Okay, we'll talk about that next. Juice Band Pace, let's go to you for pick number 3.
All right. If you're a draft person, this is one of the greatest weeks for you. We got the NHL draft and the NBA draft here tonight on the 23rd of June. I'm going to take Yaxel Lendenberg, top 10 pick at a nice plus 200. The former Michigan Wolverine there. Obviously, Michigan, if you are following the news today on Twitter, they lost their head coach. He went to the Dallas Mavericks, who picked number 9 in the NBA draft. And if you look at Yaxel, love that guy's name, Yaxel. I don't know if I can get the wife to name our next son Yaxel, but I'm going to try very, very hard. This dude is 6'9", 240. Just look at his build. I mean, he looks like an NFL player, but he truly does look like an NBA baller out there for Michigan last season. So I think that this is some good value here, considering his former, college coach just went to the Dallas Mavericks, who are picking in the top 10. So I'm going to go Yaxel Lendenberg here, top 10 pick at a plus 200. I think there is a chance, and I see a path where he could go in the top 10, number 9 to the Dallas Mavericks. So I'm going to take that at plus 200.
Or if somebody wants him, they may have to jump up to number 8, thinking that Dusty will pick him at number 9.
Yep.
Okay, a draft bet on this show. I promised Larry I would never make another draft wager as long as I live, and I will keep that promise for another about 12 hours tomorrow morning. Watch out. Okay, Coda Capra Kyle, your third pick. What do you got?
All right, sounds good. I'm going to stay on the diamond, gentlemen. I'm going to take the Cleveland Guardians on the money line at the Chicago White Sox, getting that a nice little minus 104. The Guardians and the White Sox, gentlemen, if you look at stats, they're very, very similar. So when you talk about hitting similarities, when you talk about nerfy similarities, batting similarities, all the above, what comes to mind for me is the pitching matchup. And that's really what intrigued me for this one. Parker Messick is getting the start for the Guardians, and he's been really, really solid this year. Really under the radar guy, but he's 7-3 on the year with a 2.7 ERA and a 1.1 WHIP. So really, really good stuff out of him. Now, only 3 White Sox batters have faced him lifetime, and they only got 1 hit against him in 8 at-bats. So I do like those numbers for Messick here, especially for how good he's been. On the flip side, the White Sox are starting Sean Burke. He's been okay this year. He's a 4-4 record, a 3.89 ERA, and a 1.22 WHIP. I just like Parker Messick a little bit more here. And if I'm looking at a money line of a minus 104, I think the Guardians can win a game, especially at that line. So I really like that a lot. So give me the Guardians on the money line at the White Sox at a minus 104.
Wish that game could end in a tie since both teams are in front of the Twins. I don't want the Twins to lose ground against anybody, but yeah. Okay, Coda Capra Kyle, thank you for that pick. Juice Man Pace, there's more than one draft this week. You're not going to just give the NBA love, are you?
No, absolutely not. I cannot do that. So if I'm going to give an NBA draft play, I have to give an NHL draft play that starts Friday in Buffalo. And this draft, gentlemen, really starts at the number 2 pick with the San Jose Sharks. Everybody knows, the books know, everybody knows that the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to select Gavin McKinnon with the number 1 pick. So that moves us to number 2, and that is a San Jose Sharks spot here at number 2. There's been some chatter. Do they stay? Do they trade out of this? You know, they're a young squad, but they had a really solid year last season. So could they potentially flip that number 2 pick for maybe an older player? But they need defense, and they need defense bad. So I'm going to target here who is not the favorite, but Chase Reed to go number 2 at a plus 110. He is not the favorite to go number 2. Ivor Stenberg is the favorite to go number 2 here. Some say he is the second best player in this draft, but he's a wing. He's a left winger, and this Chase Reed is a defensive guy. He plays on the defensive side of the puck. So the San Jose Sharks, if they stay, I think they go defense, and that lines up nicely for Chase Reed here, who is the best defensive player in this draft. So I'm going to take him at some plus money there at plus 110.
Okay, very nice. I guess I don't follow the NBA draft or NHL draft props enough. Do they offer a prop which team will make pick number 2 or not yet?
Well, no, not the books that I saw. Nope. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
And they only select a few players as well. I found out for the NHL draft too. So like there were some guys I was trying to search up to go number 2, but like they only offered like 4 guys to go number 2. So you get a small list of guys that can go 2, 3, 4, and 5, I think. So again, maybe down the year, 5-10 years down the road, maybe these books will start open up a little more on the NHL draft. But right now it's pretty limited.
Okay, it's not the NFL draft, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Coda Capra Kyle, your next pick. What do you got?
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to drink a little juice here in the MLB, but I think I actually like it quite a bit. I'm going to take the Boston Red Sox, gentlemen, on the money line at the Colorado Rockies. I'm getting that at a minus 151. So again, a little juicy, but I do like the odds here. Sonny Gray's getting the call for the Red Sox, and fellas, he is having a season so far this season. 8-1 record, 3.12 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. I wish you would have done that for the Twins for you guys, but that's another story for another time. Sorry about that. But he's been really, really solid against the Rockies here. Now, the Rockies, they're starting a guy by the name of Sean Sullivan. If you haven't heard of this guy before, that's because he's making his MLB debut tomorrow night. And he has kind of bounced around in the minors. When he's in single A and double A, he's been really solid. He had a 2.11 ERA in 2024 and a 2.94 ERA in 2025. They moved him up to triple A. That ERA's jumped to 5.6, gentlemen. So the higher he's going up, the worse he's getting. I think the Rockies are just trying to figure out something to get the juices flowing a little bit. I just don't think it's going to be this guy. I think the Red Sox have been batting really, really well with Sonny Gray on the bump. I think they get the job done here. So give me the Red Sox on the money line at a minus 151.
Okay, very nice. Thank you for that. I'm glad you're going Larry now with the heavy juice.
Just one.
Just one. Okay, Juice Man Pace, back to you to wrap up your card.
Yeah, well, after a 0-5 U.S. Open card, you'd think, hey, I'm going to stay away from golf for a little bit.
You're due.
I'm due, and I just can't stay away from golf. So we got the Travelers Championship here this week into this weekend, and I'm going to go Justin Thomas, a top 10 at a -110. Again, like Kyle says, doesn't have to win the tournament, not even top 10. Just give me the top 20. But JT here, gentlemen, for a top 10 at -110. His last 3 finishes, gentlemen, at the Travelers: T9, T5, T9. That's awesome. And now add in the fact his last 5 tournaments on tour this current season he's played in, he hasn't finished outside of the top 25 once in his last 5 tournaments. So he's coming off a pretty solid round weekend at the U.S. Open as well. So JT, one of the hottest golfers out there. He plays well at the Travelers Championship, and I'm going to take him at a top 20 at a -110 this weekend.
Okay, very nice. Thank you, Juice Man. Coda Capra Kyle, let's wrap up your card. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Travelers Championship as well after a 2 to 3 tournament for me in the U.S. Open. And when I looked at these odds, I simply couldn't believe that these were the odds here, gentlemen. Keegan Bradley, top 20. I'm getting that at a +160 for the Travelers Championship. If you guys know anything about the Travelers Championship, Keegan Bradley is insane at the Travelers Championship. He won the Travelers Championship last year, making a 40-foot putt on the 18th green to win that. He won it in 2023. He was finished tied for second in 2020 and 2019. Every single year he's at the Travelers Championship, he treats it like the Masters. He is so good on this tournament. And this year, gentlemen, he's still been incredible. He had a nice showing there and at the U.S. Open, finishing tied for 32nd, 19th at the Memorial, and then tied for 19th at the Truist Championship. So he's had a pretty successful season so far. Getting him at top 20 at a course that he does really, really good on at a +160, I'm going to bet that any day of the week. So for my son's toy broom, gentlemen, play of the day, give me Keegan Bradley, top 20 at a +160.
Yep, I love it.
That toy broom play is money in the bank, Kyle. I love that play.
Absolutely.
Okay, Juice Man Pace, let's have you recap your card.
Yeah, so we'll start here Tuesday night in the WNBA. I'm going to take Sabrina Ionescu over 12.5 points at a -117. And then we move to Wednesday on the hardwood. We're going to take the Minnesota Lynx in a bounce-back spot against the Mystics at a -5.5 at -110. Then some draft props for you in the NHL on Friday night. The number 2 pick to be Chase Reed, the best defensive player in the draft to the San Jose Sharks, who need defense at a +110. And then in the NBA on Tuesday night here tonight, I'm going to go top 10 pick Yaxel Lendenberg. Hopefully he goes to the Mavs at 9 there. Maybe sooner. We'll see. Just need him to go inside the top 10 at +200. And then the Travelers Championship, little JT action, top 20 at a -110. His last 3 finishes at this tournament, T9, T5, T9. I love it. If you want to get a little more aggressive, take him top 10. I think it was like +200-ish, but I'm taking top 20 at a -110.
Okay, very nice. Thank you, Juice Man Pace. Yeah, after my U.S. Open, I'm not going to get aggressive with anyone. I just want him to make the doggone cut. Okay, Kyle, back to you for your recap.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to go in the MLB. I got the Mariners and the Pirates over 8.5 at a +114. The Guardians on the money line against the White Sox at a -104. The Red Sox on the money line against the Avalanche. Now Pace has me thinking NHL. The Rockies at a -151. The New York Liberty +1.5 against the Aces at a -105. And my son's toy broom play of the day. Give me Keegan Bradley, top 20 at the Travelers Championship at a +160.
Very nice, Kyle. And when you have a winning day, what do you say again?
You can put on the board. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to declare it right now. Minute 15 to go. The Fever are up 15. You're laying 5.5. I think you're cashing that ticket to guarantee a winning day, regardless of the outcome of your 5th and final play. So nice work on Monday. Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Let's make it back-to-back winning days here on this show. Love the card this week. And until we meet again, everyone, manage that bankroll. Don't chase money. Have fun, and let's cash some tickets together. Good luck, everyone.
Peace.